We're back with Scott Grogan, Senior Director of Rail Operations. Scott's been telling us of an elaborate routine that occurs every night to make sure our 18 trains are safe and clean. Scott, in addition to cleaning the trains at night, you have a crew that takes care of the tracks too. You have to take care of and make sure those are clean and ready to go. Is that right?
That's correct. We have we call them maintenance away personnel, and there are 3 different disciplines out there. We have track people, a track department who they keep the tracks clean. They make sure that the rails are in good working order so that the trains will have a nice smooth ride in the morning. They make sure that the switches and turnouts are where they need to be. Then we have a crew that's called traction power crew. And their main focus is the power for the trains themselves, the 750 volts DC. And they have 2 specific areas. They have the contact wire, or the OCS is what we call it.
But that's the wire. These wires above the train?
That's the wire that actually provides the electricity through the pantograph to the train.
Okay.
And that's inspected once a week, and we have a very short non-revenue window. We have a 4-hour window is when all the vehicles are back at the maintenance facility where we can actually go out on the right-of-way and take care of this maintenance. We also, the traction power people, they also take care of the substations which provide the power from center point or Reliant Energy to our system itself. So without any one of those 3 phases, the trains won't run. So if you have no power, trains don't run. Tracks are broken, trains don't run. So it's really a system or a holistic approach. You know, signals and communications. Without the signals and comm, now it becomes very hard for the system to operate on time and performance.
And communications, you're talking about the public service announcements?
Communications, we have a vigorous maintenance program for the communication aspect for the speakers on the platform, the signs that scroll messages across. You know, every station is unique and it has its own type of communication house for the data to transfer from the vehicle to the platform. Next train arrival, from the control center, you know, whatever they want to say. So
you have to make sure those electronic signs work all the time. So they test
that's right. And we have like I said, it's a preventive maintenance program for all facets. You know, it's a team effort. You know, when we go out and do a switch inspection, then we have the signals department there doing the switch and inners of the switch, making sure that the switch throws properly. Proper detection is seen at the location as well at the control center.
Do you have a little truck that gets on the tracks and actually is like a track sweeper that moves along automatically on the
track
rail?
Department, we sweep the tracks. We sweep the entire right-of-way at least once a week, and that's after revenue, obviously, because we're not going to jump inside in between trains.
After revenue meaning after the trains aren't collecting passengers.
That's correct.
Taking passengers
after revenue is when everything is back at the shop. So yeah, we have a track sweeper, which rides right on top of the embedded, which is downtown area, is embedded area, and it has a big vacuum cleaner with brushes that sucks everything up.
Do you have a mileage-based maintenance schedule that's all computerized, tells you so many miles, time to do this task?
At various mileages, we have daily inspections, which are like we talked about before, and then we have mileage-based 5,000 mile inspection, 10,000, 20, and then a 60,000. Each one is unique in its own. It covers systems and subsystems on the vehicle, and as you go up, you get more detailed, and you go down to a subsystem or a component or a wire. You know, so it's an aggressive type system so it works out to about once a month. Every
system is tested and maintained.
The vehicles put about 5,000 miles on a car in a month, so we run about 60,000 miles a year on each car.
Scott, how big is your crew?
We have 15 technicians and 4 specialists, and their whole focus is on the PM program. That's really the nuts and bolts.
The PM program,
preventive maintenance program.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Acronyms. That's really the nuts and bolts which keeps the trains rolling. That if you're having an aggressive preventive maintenance program, you're going to find the defects before they actually cause delays in service.
How much does each car cost, each train?
We paid $2.75 million for each one of these vehicles.
So these are really expensive vehicles. Are they real sensitive too in terms of the maintenance? You have to do everything just right, or are they really sturdy? You know.
It's ours is that we started off following our OEM, which is original equipment manufacturer's recommendations, and as we saw various systems either respond or not respond to that, we either increased the maintenance or increased or reduced the frequency based on what we were actually seeing in service. So it's really an evolving or ever-growing process. So we see an issue, we'll address it, we'll know that, okay, this happens every 15,000 miles, so let's look at it at every 10,000 miles.
What is the biggest challenge facing your cleaning and maintenance crew?
My biggest challenge is the lack of vehicles. We run every car every day, so there's really no cars hanging around for spares.
But we're getting new trains.
We are getting, that's a good thing. These CAF vehicles are 100% low floor.
Terrific.
That means there's no stairs inside the car, so
easier to get in and out?
Easier getting out. There's the 6 doors versus just 4 doors. They're a little bit longer. The first 2 are scheduled to arrive in June of 2011.
And then you have to test them?
And then there's a testing and commissioning process. So the first 2 are the pilot cars, and we have to do various qualification tests on them to make sure that they actually function as intended. And that's about a 6-month process. It's not every car goes through the qualification process. The first 2 are the ones that really go through every little nook and cranny to make sure that it is going to give us what we need.
And eventually we'll have 100, how many cars will
Eventually we're looking at, for all 5 corridors, we're looking at 103 vehicles. So
which will be a lot more for you to maintain and clean. Will you have to increase your staff?
Our staffing levels will have to go up, obviously.
But you'll keep the same routine?
We're going to, we've been very successful with what we do today, and we're probably not going to change much, We're going to ride our success.
Okay. Thank you so much, Scott, for being with us.
All right, you're welcome.
That's all for this edition of Metro Matters. Find out more about Metro on our blog at ridemetro.org. Follow us on Twitter and fan us on Facebook. I'm Mary Sitt. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.